We begin this evening with new information on a shocking attack inside a University of Waterloo classroom. Police say they have reason to believe it was a planned and targeted attack motivated by hate related to gender expression and gender identity. Investigators allege a 24-year-old international student who once attended the university was armed with 2 knives when he entered a gender studies class. Adam Atkinson reports.
According to Waterloo Police Chief Mark Crowell, this man, 24-year-old Giovanni Villalba Ailman, walked into a gender studies class at the University of Waterloo yesterday afternoon, asked the professor what the lecture was about before shutting the door and pulling out 2 knives from a backpack and attacking the professor.
We're being careful, but also quite direct, and we believe this was a targeted, specific attack related to gender expression and gender identity. And so, in absolutely, we're, for the 2S LGBTQ+ community, we believe was targeted sort of broadly and at large here.
The classroom was full of 40 students. While some fled, others tried to intervene in the attack.
There's those who were seeking to actively involve themselves to stop the attack, throwing objects. It's been described to me that some chairs and other objects were thrown at the attacker. So I don't have a full picture for exactly what transpired, but I applaud those who really sought to stand up and to intervene in the best way they could.
The professor, 38-year-old Katie Fulfer, suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to an out-of-town hospital. A 20-year-old female student who tried to intervene also suffered serious injuries and was taken to an out-of-town hospital. And a 19-year-old male student sustained non-life-threatening injuries while trying to stop the attack. Police say Giovanni Villalba Ailman, a recent graduate of the university as an international student from Ecuador, tried to flee the scene as part of a crowd.
He sought to blend in and essentially to hide in plain sight, while we had responded, and sought to blend in with those who were also fleeing or present at the time. So thankfully, because of excellent witness information, we had a good description of who the individual was, and we were able to identify that was the suspect we were looking for.
The police chief says this was a targeted attack and says there's been a disturbing trend across the country of attacks against the LGBTQ+ community.
And the information that we're gathering today lends us to believe through the course of our investigation, and including an interview with the accused, that that was his purpose, was to make a statement, was to purposely target that subject matter of gender identity and gender expression.
Yesterday, 3 members of our community were violently attacked in a horrific act that targeted gender expression and identity.
At a vigil on campus this afternoon, the president of the university said because of this attack, the pride flags will remain in place until the end of July.
This was a hate-filled attack, targeting people on the basis of a hateful view of gender expression and identity. That this happened at the end of Pride Month is all the more painful.
Giovanni Villalba Ailman remains in police custody as investigators seek judicial permission to search his residence. Adam Atkinson, CHCH News.